Hi friends, Denise Hammonds here, coming from my office at my house. I was planning on starting my small group after Easter, and since we are not being able to meet at the church, I thought maybe I would do some videos about each of the skills for those of you that want a refresher who were in the small group before, or if you're brand new, welcome to the skills. My small group over the last couple years has been a support group for women to help with relationship skills, and not just in those marriage or romantic relationships, but also these skills can help with your children, your coworkers, whatever, any of your relationships. What I discovered about myself is when I got into this program, I became a complete transformation and the best authentic version of myself. So that is the reason that I share these skills. If you're interested in reading up on these, you can find them in the work by Laura Doyle. She's an author. She's written several books. I don't work for Laura Doyle. I have met her. However, I sell a lot of books for her, I think. I don't get anything from it, but it has made such a dramatic transformation in my own life, and that is why I share it with other women. I'm so passionate about the relationship skills. I also draw some of my coaching skills from some other works like Love and Respect by Emerson Eggerichs. There are some other books that I could recommend if you wanted to read about how to be your best authentic self. But I'm going to just do some short videos about each of the skills. So the skill that we're going to talk about right now is self-care. And self-care is really about your own happiness. So rule number one is you are responsible for your happiness. It is not dependent on your circumstances, or there is no one else who is responsible to make you happy. Self-care is about doing things and that you enjoy, things that fulfill you and keep you in a happy place. And I believe that God has wired each of us to have unique talents and unique things that actually appeal to us. So we need to really look at what are those things that fulfill us and meet the needs of self-care for us. So in other words, what are your guilty pleasures? What are the things that you look forward to, that you love? I used to think that this was sort of a selfish attitude. After all, shouldn't I be putting others before myself? But the problem is when you put yourself at the very bottom and you don't keep yourself in a happy place, it impacts your relationships with everyone else. Have you ever heard the mantra, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy? It's so true. If we aren't happy with ourselves, we cannot be happy in the relationships that we have, and it affects everyone else. So self-care activities are not the things that you should be doing, because we all have that list, right? I know I should be exercising every day. They are not necessarily the things that are good for you. I know what my diet should be. For example, again, know that I should be exercising. I know I should be active, and yoga is good for me. However, I do not like yoga. It is not self-care for me. I have discovered that Zumba, on the other hand, is an activity that I love, that I'm very passionate about, and I look forward to Zumba. I don't just feel great after I've done it. I feel great while I'm doing it. I look forward to doing it. So that's sort of a way that you can gauge whether something is self-care for you. If you look forward to it and you love it in the moment, then it's probably self-care. So you should make a list of things that are self-care for you and be intentional. If you haven't been getting enough self-care, I noticed when I first discovered this, I wasn't doing anything that was self-care. Occasionally I would do something, but I always felt guilty about it when I did something for myself. So you need to be intentional and incorporate at least 3 self-care activities in each day. Put them on your calendar, put them on your phone as reminders. This list is important for you because if you haven't been doing it, you don't know what those things are. And you may discover there are some things you thought would be self-care that are not. And there are other things that maybe you discover along the way that you really love, and you can add them to your list. They can be as simple as, your favorite coffee, your favorite music, a hiking trip, or a manicure, a pedicure. It can be big things or little things, but try to incorporate at least 3 things in your daily schedule. You may find again that your list evolves over time, and you may find some new things to add to your list, and that's always good because then you can start incorporating them into your schedule. So how do you know if you've had enough self-care? For me, I know if I'm grumpy, if I'm irritated, if I'm trying to control other people, then that's an indication for me that I need more self-care. And keep in mind when you're stressful or you're really busy or there's things going on in your life that are taxing on you, you may need to incorporate some extra self-care to keep your tank full and keep you at that happy level. Another part of self-care is keeping yourself in a good place with honoring your pure desires. So I'm going to ask you to make 2 lists this week, if you haven't done this before, a self-care list so that you can look at what are things that are self-care for me. Like for me, it's Zumba, it's walking in the forest, it's connecting with my daughters on the phone, it's talking to my girlfriends, it's doing my nails. Whatever those are for you, make your list so that you can be looking at it. And when you put them on your calendar, you are going to look forward to them. The other part of self-care, like I just said, are pure desires. And a pure desire is a longing or a dream to do something, which is really bigger than a self-care activity. So a pure desire always starts with the phrase, I would love to. For example, I would love to take a trip to Australia. That is a pure desire for me. So what usually happens with us in pure desires is we don't honor them because we'll have it come up, oh, I would love to go to Australia. And then we think, oh, we can't fly right now. I have no money. That's never going to happen. So I dismiss it. And then it makes me kind of sad because I can't do it, right? But if you keep a list of your pure desires and you're honoring them and dreaming about them without thinking about the how, just take the how off the table. You can honor your pure desires, and over time you'll find ways things will happen where you will be able to actually cross them off your list. For example, if you were to say, I'd love to go to Hawaii, and you keep honoring that and you're putting it out there and expressing it. And when you're talking to someone, trips come up and you say, I would love to go to Hawaii. They all of a sudden say, hey, wait, I know somebody who has a timeshare in Hawaii and they're looking for people. Then all of a sudden, because you honored your pure desire, there's an opportunity there to meet it. So that's what it means to honor your pure desires, is to dream about them, put them out there, because what happens a lot of times is you see those opportunities then when you are honoring those. So making sure that you're keeping a list of your pure desires. And I really believe that this is a part of the abundant life that Jesus talks about in the Bible, that we need to really be open to those opportunities because he wants us to fulfill our desires. He wants us to actually live the way he has wired us to live. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that a complaint, which we're going to talk about control in a couple of sessions, but a complaint is actually an unexpressed desire. So if you catch yourself thinking about something that, you're not happy about and you're prone to complain about, think about what is the unexpressed desire. It could be as simple as, you want to complain that the kitchen is really dirty because somebody didn't clean it or whatever. The pure desire behind that would be that I would love to come home to a clean kitchen. So thinking about how to flip those complaints into a pure desire sometimes will help you get to what those desires are. And what you're going to find is those pure desires are like the North Star for your relationships because they help other people figure out how to make you happy, especially with your significant other or your spouse. If they know what it is that they can do to make you happy, especially men, they love to make their women happy, they will step up to do that. So if you're honoring your pure desires and really thinking about what those things are that you dream about, you're going to find that other people are going to be happy to step up and try to help you honor and to help you meet those pure desires. So just continue to practice self-care, and the homework for this week is to do a list of your self-care activities, incorporate at least 3 into your schedule every day. Also make a list of your pure desires. And remember that these are things, that dreams that God has planted within you for whatever reason, and you need to honor those. So what I'm going to do also is I'm going to start an actual group, whether it's through a Zoom call or whatever. I'll put it up on the ladies' Facebook page so that we can get together. And if you have questions or you want to discuss any of this, we can do this once a week. So that's the brief synopsis of self-care. And I hope that you really work on incorporating that in your life this week. God bless, and know that I'm praying for you. Love you all. Bye.